just want to start off by saying that Steam Roulette is not rigged, okay? Here's the proof. See, I rolled this game, I bought it recently. Just because I got it on sheer luck doesn't mean I rigged the system, okay? All you guys can shut up! So, as far as I'm concerned, I would say that this is my first actual Monster Hunter game. I played one on the 3DS. I think it was Monster Hunter Cross or Double Cross. I can't remember which one it is actually. And then I actually own Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for the Switch. But as far as like the first one that I actually like sat down and played, this is it. Like, I know this is probably the newest one that came out, and there was a lot of like weird backlash when the game first came out, saying that like, oh my god, they casualized the experience so that way anybody can play it. And I don't really think that's a bad thing, honestly. Like, making it more accessible means that anybody can just kind of like hop in and play this uniquely fun game that's been a series for a long time. Like, this was a great entry point for anybody, really, so I'm having a lot of fun with it anyway. So, as you can guess, the basic concept of the game is very simple. You know, accept a mission, you go on a hunt, you try to track down the monster that you're fighting, or sometimes there's smaller side objectives, just like gathering resources from the world, but most of the time you're going to end up like, you know, fighting these big creatures. You kill the creature or capture the creature in some instances, and then you can use that creature's materials to build all kinds of cool weapons and armor that you can use to help your battles in the future, fighting newer and bigger and stronger monsters. And it's a fun time. I like it a lot. The combat is a little different than most games I've ever played, but it's still really fun once you get the hang of the combat and how kind of, it's not like slow by any means, but like just, you can't just run around and attack in any direction at any time. Like, there's, once you commit to an attack, there's a little bit more to it, and you have to actually, like, you know, time your stuff instead of just blatantly running in and trying to swing your sword all over the place. Like, you'll get wrecked. So I like that fact that there's a little bit more, you know, effort involved. I've always kind of been intimidated by the Monster Hunter series because as far as like playing the old ones on the 3DS goes, or just any of the older consoles that they were out for at the time, there was really like a kind of a hard learning curve to it, where you would have to really know what you're doing to get anywhere in the game. And I mean, obviously you could just keep playing the game and get better at it, and you know, the tutorial should help you out with a lot of the basics and stuff like that, but just, it always seemed like one of those series to me where like only like experienced veterans of the series could really like play it and enjoy it. But I mean, obviously I don't play those games. Like, I've only played them like once or twice, so I can't really confirm that or anything. All I can say is that the older games do seem a little bit more difficult because of like hardware limitations. Like, you have to move in between different areas, so you have to, like, tracking the monster sometimes can be a little bit more difficult or whatever. This new game really like helps streamline some of that stuff to where it's not like super crazy, like obnoxious to like go around and track down the monster and stuff like that. You just run around for a few minutes, try to find some footprints or some sort of like markings to let you know that the monster's around, and then you kind of just, you know, follow the trail, get to the monster, bada bing bada boom, you're in a battle. Pretty cool, pretty simple. And I would say that that's probably one of the biggest things that I like the most about this game. When I played Monster Hunter for the Switch or the 3DS, it was always kind of annoying to like fight the monster for a couple of minutes and then it would get kind of tired, or like it would need to heal or something, so it would run off and it would go into the next area, and once you tried to chase it into the next area, you'd get a loading screen, which kind of took away from like the excitement of like the chase or the battle, really. And then like whether it runs 2 or 3 different areas away or whatever, like it just, I don't know, the chasing seemed like it was more, you know, like cut up, and it didn't seem as like, you know, intense because it was all these loading screens and stuff like that. And I don't know, I really like the fact that in this one you're running through the world and the monster will interact with the world. Like, there's vines or whatever in the way, the monster will like wiggle its way into them or destroy them or get them out of the way or whatever, and jump up these big, you know, like cliff faces and stuff like that to try to access a higher piece of ground, or like whatever it may be. Like, the monsters do interact with the environment really well. There's also this really cool thing that'll happen every so often if there's more than one of the bigger monsters on the map, where it's a territory war. So if you push one monster into another area where another monster is, or like normally stays, it'll kind of engage a territory war if the two monsters are hostile towards each other, where they'll fight, and it'll like it'll bring up this like super cool like scene that you can kind of just sit back and watch if you want, where like the two monsters will go at each other and they all like have their unique animations or whatever, where they engage the enemy monster, and normally it's a pretty good thing to have because it'll do a lot of damage to each other and will in turn helping you know, kind of kill the monster off a little bit faster. But just like watching these monsters go at each other, like it looks like this cool, like super epic fight between two gigantic monsters, and it's super cool. This game also has like a really nice variety where there's numerous different locations that you can travel to and search through. Although some of them aren't like fully fledged areas, but there's at least 3 or 4 different like fully like operational areas where you can roam around and see different environments and different monsters roaming around in like the actual location itself. There's tons of variety as far as monsters go, just looking through the wiki, because I've not personally fought all of these monsters yet. There looks to be around 30 different monsters, and those are just the large ones. That's not including the creatures that you see just roaming around in the environment themselves, just to inhabit the area. I don't know, there's a lot to do in the game, and even just trying to like get the armor sets and stuff like that you want in the game, or the weapons, you need to go through and fight like several of the monsters multiple times to try and get the pieces that you need to craft all of the stuff and everything. So there's a lot of gameplay here. Like there's a lot of time that you would need to invest into getting a lot of this stuff. So in my opinion, like you're gonna get a lot of gameplay time out of the game, which in turn I would say that gives it a lot of replay value. So I like grinding for gear. That's just me. But so if if you put me in this game and I'm just running around killing monsters over and over again and having these sweet epic boss fights and stuff like that just to get materials, the materials are kind of like a bonus to me, and then once I kill enough of them, you know, I get this really sweet reward for doing it. So I don't know, there's a cool payoff for me, at least, if you're into that sort of thing. Also, just in case you're kind of one of those people who figure like maybe you need to play the previous games to get into this one because of like some sort of story or something like that you'd be missing out on. As far as I know, I don't think you need to play any of the other games. This one kind of has its own storyline built into the game, and it's kind of separate from everything else, where in this one you travel to a whole new like place called the New World, and it has its own, you know, sort of monsters, and it has some throwback monsters from some of the previous games and stuff like that you hunt and everything, and it's got its own sort of like, you know, storyline where you're hunting these like great dragons or whatever it is. So I think you're safe there as far as I know. Is that big boy here? Oh shit, big boy is here. Turf War Legiana. Hell yeah, kill it. Kill that fucking thing. Fucking ass. $522 damage. Other than all that stuff though, I would say this is a super great game if you're at all interested in the Monster Hunter concept. I know there's some other games out there like God Eater and stuff like that I've actually played in the past. But this is a really great entry point for anybody who's wanting to get into the series itself. It's super fun. Like, I've played a lot of it, and I know there was a lot of issues that people were having with connecting with their friends on this game. I don't know for sure if those are fixed or not. I know some people are still having issues, but it seems like it's died down a lot. I can't actually give you any sort of personal experience with that because I play this game alone and I just kind of queue in with randoms. So can't really give you a whole lot of update there, but altogether I would say this game is really, really good. I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. And there's little Poogie. Yay! Little pig. He roams around the little, you know, base that you have. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I don't know what happened to my voice right there. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Obviously, links on the screen. Check out some of my other videos if you want to. Subscribe for more in the future. And yeah, tell me what you thought. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with this game. I'd like to know what you guys think, you know.